Hello, friends. Oh, look at that. I hit the go live button right as Broaddus showed up. That's right. Watch this. Watch me bring this sucker in here. Bang, bang. What's up, Brian Broaddus? How you doing, brother?
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. It's good to see you, bud. How are you doing? Is life treating you well today?
Yeah, I've been doing well. Watching Kansas City's offense. Probably gonna have to watch Kansas City's defense here in a little bit. Kind of the short week thing working right now.
Yeah.
But overall, figuring it out.
Yeah.
How the dogs doing today? Here,
It's going to be a great show, Brian. I'm dog sitting 2 dogs. So there's 3 dogs in my very tiny house, and they're all very large. And the doggy door's blocked because they'll jump in the pool if I let them outside. So they're just going to make a bunch of noise, and this is going to be an interesting episode of Trust the Tape. Hey, everybody, it's good to see you. Thanks to everybody that's in the chat before the show even starts, including my guy Dro Nose, who says can't trust Shotty to kick the dang field goal on 4th and goal, but I can damn sure trust the tape. So we're ready to rock.
Let me ask you this on that real quick.
Yeah.
Initially, when I was watching it, and I was, we were down. We had gone from the press box down to the field, and so we were in the Miller Lite Club area.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe he actually did it. I couldn't believe it. And then I started to think maybe he knew his defense was good enough that day. Maybe he knew that, all right, if I don't get this, I'm going to give him the ball on the 3-yard line and they're going to have to drive it on me, which, is kind of crazy to think that a Dallas Cowboys defense, but for 41 minutes, they held that team scoreless. And I got mad at him. I got mad at him for not kicking the field goal. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, maybe this guy knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I do think that he thought that if they didn't get it, that they would still get the ball back and still win the game. I think that he thought that. And you know me, Brian. I'm Captain Go for it. I believe in going for it.
Well, the metrics told the metrics I think was 68% go. Yeah.
In that moment, I think I would have kicked it. Yeah. I also think that there was a mistake made there because as soon as the Cowboys got the ball, and what was that, like 5 minutes left?
3 something, I think.
I looked at Jesse and I looked at Vach and I said, you hand the ball off until it's 4th down and you're kicking, or you're standing in the end zone. And then, or you're daring Philadelphia. You haven't scored in over a half hour of game time. Good luck, guys. Like, just take the lead and put your faith in the defense that way. Worked out.
I initially goes, what the F is he doing? And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, man, maybe he actually knew his guys were going to get a stop.
Maybe he knew Philadelphia was falling apart and there was nothing that
he might very well have known that.
KP says, good morning, fellas. Brian, hope you are doing well. I think Brian's doing all right, by the way. Make sure you're following Crown Global Media on YouTube. That's Brian's outfit. If you support Brian Broaddus, that's the way that you do it. It's Crown Global Media. Nina D at 21:0, I was stress cleaning. At 24, I was drinking my enemy's tears. Worried about CeeDee, though. What can help his mindset? I did apologize to the people. I apologize to the people for not handling myself in a professional manner, Brian, when you so correctly said who was the better receiver on this team. In this moment, I will add an addendum. In this moment, the best receiver on this team. And we do need CeeDee to get it together. And my theory is that CeeDee does need to see the sports psychologist, and that's okay. That's not a sign of weakness. But I do believe that how awesome George Pickens is not something that bothers CeeDee in and of itself, right? Having a teammate who's great, that they seem to be good friends, that's awesome. But feeling the pressure of it's supposed to be CeeDee and Pickens, and I'm me. And then watching him go off, I believe CeeDee is doing what we talk about Dak doing when the defense can't do anything and they're trying to score on every play. CeeDee's pressing. CeeDee's mindset is not good right now, and CeeDee needs to snap out of it because if he just goes and plays football like he does, you have the best receiver tandem in the league. But I believe being outperformed by a teammate, he's putting more in his own brain, and it's jacking him up. We need to go to the sports psychologist.
I think Philadelphia played him pretty well.
Sure.
I really do. I
catch
think
the ball.
If you go and you really, and I'm not accusing you of this, but you go and watch like every ball that was thrown to him, you will see Mitchell play some really good coverage.
Yep.
You'll see Cooper DeJean play some really good coverage.
Yeah.
You'll see Dak Prescott try and force a ball to him. You'll see Reed Blankenship play some really good coverage. You'll see a mistake that they made in coverage that worked out pretty well for him. I think there were 2 balls that CeeDee Lamb dropped in that football game.
Yeah.
I think there were two balls.
Yeah, we can't do that. We can't do that. You almost went 0-2 against Philly, and it would have been solely off of the 6 or 7 CeeDee drops. We can't have it.
It wasn't. I mean, like I said, I am not worried about CeeDee Lamb. I'm really not.
Oh, that's the best news I've ever heard. Because
no, I'm not worried about him. I'm not. I'm really
his champion, and I'm worried about him.
I'm not worried about him.
Well,
I'm really not.
Like that then.
Good. I think that when I sat down and really, I think that Quinnen Mitchell is a marvelous corner. I think Cooper DeJean is a marvelous corner. If you don't extend your hands and you kind of let the ball get to you a little bit more, those guys are going to find ways to drive and get their hands in there on plays. And they did. They did a couple of times. I think there were 2 routes. I think the crossing route, I think the crossing route, the ball was just a little bit high. But he got both hands on the ball. He's got to come down with that one. And then he had the one where he's trying to make a play, and he sees, I think that was where Zach Bond was lined up, or where Zach Bond might have taken his eye off that one. Might have been a concentration one there. But that was listen, CeeDee Lamb's going to make those plays. I think really a lot of it has to, if you talk about the vertical route that he had, the big play that kind of got things going. He was fighting the whole way down the field, and him to track that ball and haul it in the way he did, I think was a brilliant catch. It was well done on his part. The route they tried to throw a go route to him on the and the play that he caught was they drew the offsides. It was they got the guy in the neutral zone. Bond was in the neutral zone, and then they launched the ball. But the first route of the game, he goes vertical. Officials, Adoree Jackson tackles him basically, or hits him 15 yards down the field. So it knocks him inside, balls on the outside, incomplete pass. And you're like, okay, sir, that's Mr. Official. That's illegal contact. You can't do that 15 yards down the field. And so there were some things in this game that were not all CeeDee Lamb's fault. I think CeeDee Lamb legitimately had two drops in that game. Everything else was probably well defensed, not called. Like I said, mistake on the goal line. God dang, the Philadelphia's the Smith, the rush in. They get a combination where somebody's supposed to rush. It's the safety. It's Smith. They're supposed to blitz. One of them's supposed to blitz. Neither of them blitz. It ends up to kind of being a cluttered, like who's got who kind of a situation. Dax throws it kind of weakly out there. I mean, he was open coming across, just couldn't get him the ball quick enough. I'm not, like I say, it's not like I'm defending it, but if you watch all the passes thrown to him, you could come up with a reason why he didn't have success in that football game. And I think a couple of them were on him.
I like what you're doing there, Bryan. I like that you created this fire. You've created this fire.
No, I just know that George Pickens George Pickens is if you look at quarterback rating,
stirring it. You're stirring it. And you put it out. You stirred it, then you put it out. I like that.
I just caught on before everybody else did.
All right.
Am I right about that? Am I right?
Yeah.
I think I was right about that one.
When CeeDee shows back up, we're going to be in good shape. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yes, I am enjoying.
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him.
I am enjoying Megatron 2.0. It's a wonderful time. James is in Super Chat. He said, I got to enjoy 2 consecutive weekends of comeback victories, Texas A&M, then Dallas. Do you think Howell will be good in the pros, Brian? Who is James asking about here?
I like he's talking about an edge rusher there and with the Aggies. And I'll tell you what, though, I think he's in that mix. I don't personally have him as one of my first round guys. I think he's more in that category of probably, player. And this is how you have to look at it, folks. Players like 18 to 20, that's kind of where the first round grades. When you start to do the quarterbacks, I think I got 13 first round grades without quarterbacks in there. So we'll see how the quarterbacks all shake in there. There's a couple other positions that I have to watch. But yeah, that Howell is an edge rusher from Texas A&M. He stands up, which is really interesting. So he plays in a 2-point stance, and he's a long guy. He's a good pass rusher. He's got a really good first step. And so, yeah, he will be in the mix when they start to talk about. I know last year we had some struggles with the Texas A&M kids. Me personally, I had struggles with them. I think Howell is up in there with the guys, the better pass rushers that we're seeing in this upcoming draft.
James is in the Super Chat. Underrated moment, Ferg blocking Dean on Dak's touchdown. Anytime Jake Ferguson makes a block, that is a big moment in the game. I will tell you this about
Jake Ferguson. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll tell you this about Jake Ferguson. I believe that when Jake put the ball on the ground, I believe it was my fault. I believe that was on me. I've begun.
Were you telling him to go? Were you yelling, go,
no,
go?
I've come up with the years and years ago as Zach Ertz is getting older and older. I remember there was a Twitter account that was called @Did Zach Ertz break a tackle? And what it was every time he caught a ball, it would just tweet, no, 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 no. And I wondered, when was the last time I saw Ferg break a tackle? And so then he was a freaking madman on the one catch and ran through a couple of different tackles. And I'm like, the guy Ferg's feeling himself.
He's feeling himself.
He tried to do it again. And we live in 2025. In 2025, when you try to break too many tackles, people aren't really trying to tackle you anymore. They just want the ball.
I worry about Pickens sometimes doing that.
I miss the NFL where people just tried to tackle you and everybody wasn't punching at the ball, because then we got more cool broken tackles and making people miss. Now you have to make very sure that you're holding on to the ball because everybody's coming for it. And I blame that on me. I think Jake was thinking, Jeff said I haven't been breaking tackles, and so I'm going to go break me some tackles. And they were like, that's cool. We're going to hit the ball.
Yeah.
I take that one.
I'll tell you what, one of the good plays I saw was Old Man Clowney on a 3rd and 7 when Philadelphia was driving on you, and Old Man Clowney, Hurts went running to outside left, and if he turns the corner, it's probably going to be a big play. But in week 1, it's a big play. Week 12, it's Clowney tackling him for a 2-yard gain, and Philadelphia having to punt.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that you needed, to win that game. You needed plays like that, and like I say, for 41 minutes, that defense was as good as we've seen them all year.
Yeah. Kerry Matthews is in the Super Chat, and Brian, I don't think you're willing to go there, but we have to ask the question because it's a Super Chat. BB, can we get the Diggs files? What's the story with the concussion America wants to know? What's the story with Diggs, Brian? What happened?
I appreciate your donation to the Trust the Tape podcast. It usually goes to the Jeff Cavanaugh Pool Fund.
Yep. 23.1.
Yeah. So folks, continue to donate your money to Jeff because he needs the money. I have a son at University of Texas about to graduate, so I don't need your money, but I would appreciate I appreciate your money. I appreciate your money on our channel if you want to come over there and be a part of that. Yeah, I know. And when it comes out, I think everybody's going to be like, what?
If it comes out.
If it comes out. I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one that says it, though. People get fired over this thing, man. I ain't doing that.
Vance is in the Super Chat. Was discussed on Jeff's post-game show. As a personnel guy, Bryan Broaddus, how would you handle coaches fighting to keep Elijah Clark on the roster no matter what after he made that special teams play?
Tough kid, man. They gave him a lot of money. They really liked him coming out of Syracuse.
Yep.
You could tell it's important to him. Some of these guys, they dress each week, and You never kind of hear from him, but man, he is one of the guys that when you dress your 48, he is going to find ways to make plays. He's got flexibility to play some safety for you. He can play pretty decently in coverage. He's a tough guy for his size. He's got you saw it. I mean, again, the effort to make the play and stuff like that's what you got to do, man. When you're one of the 48, you got to find a way in your 12 plays that you have in a game. You got to find a way to make a play or two, a tackle or two. Don't be the guy that gets called for holding during a kickoff return, or don't be the guy that gets caught for roughing the punter or something like that. Be a guy that's a positive player, because they're only going to let you have 12 of those snaps, and you got to go out there and find a way to get it done. He's a good player. He really is. He it's important to him. You can tell that by the way he plays.
We like that. Now, if you guys are tuned in here, I want you to know that we appreciate you, and we appreciate those that support us by being a sponsor of the broadcast. I'm trying to see if I can pull up my dub from last week with our friends over there at Underdog.
Underdog. Best logo, man. They got a great logo.
They do. And you need to know that promo code TAPE. I'll tell you what it'll get you in a second. That's what it was. I went with Travion Henderson, more than on his rushing yards. Tyler Warren, less than on his
why would you not bet? Why would you not bet? Why would you bet against Henderson?
It's not.
It's a college.
The word bet is incorrect. Brian.
Why would you? Yeah,
I picked Travion Henderson.
Why would you pick against that one? That
I picked Tyler Warren less than, and I picked George Pickens more than, and I turned my $10 into 65. It's that easy with our friends at Underdog. Yeah. All you got to do is get off the bench and into the game, head over to Underdog, get in on all the action. It's Feast Week is back from tomorrow, November 26th through November 30th. Check the app daily for special promos. I have a great time. I just go in there, and I did make one mistake. I went less than on every Jalen Hurts stat because I like to do a little hating sometimes on Underdog. It's just kind of the way that I get down. But all you do is you go in there, you make your picks, say whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Now, let me throw you a disclaimer up there.
Yeah. Tell you, if you got a gambling problem, this is what you do.
Well, yeah, they'll take care of you in that regard. Download the app today. Sign up with the promo code TAPE. You'll get $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Get it together, Jeff. Promo code is TAPE on Underdog. Underdog, make picks, win money. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. That's our friends at Underdog, and we sure do appreciate them.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Really do.
Even if Brian's trying to use words you're not supposed to use in the read, and that's okay.
I didn't use the words. I said if you have to pick. Don't pick. Watch the tape and pick. Make a good selection.
CC Black is in the super chat with an incredibly unfair question that's going to be thrown on Arvell Reese, the Ohio State linebacker / edge guy. How does Reese compare to Parsons coming out? And that's just not fair. I just want to put that out there.
I will tell you this. I had a better understanding of Reese as a rusher than I did Parsons.
Yeah, we saw Parsons. Yeah.
I saw Parsons. Matter of fact, remember it was the COVID year. He skipped. The last game he played was Penn State, played Memphis in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the last game we ever saw him play. The young man didn't play his last year, and he sat out because of COVID. A lot of kids made that decision. And so he did what he had to do. I could tell you with certainty that you could absolutely play Reese at edge and have a productive, kick-ass type of a player. Yeah. I couldn't tell you that about Micah Parsons. And even the guys that scouted Micah Parsons at Penn State couldn't tell you that. So compare on.
Don't do it, guys. Don't do this to these kids. Let Arvell Reese be Arvell Reese. He's a really good linebacker. He's a really nice edge rusher. Don't you do this to this young man. Don't you put that expectation on him. It's Micah Parsons just did whatever he did last week. It's now him and Reggie White, the only two guys to have double-digit sacks every year for the first 5 or whatever. Don't you put that on Arvell Reese.
I was with Reggie White too. Man. That's when you're in that company. What was really cool in the Philadelphia, we were out in the plaza broadcasting, and they had their Kelly Green jerseys on, all their fans. And some of the fans had on Reggie White, the 92 Kelly Greens. I respect that. I respect the number 20 Brian Dawkins. Another guy been around. I respect that. Respect the Jerome Brown, that one. There were a lot of those Kelly Greens. There was some I didn't respect, but those were the ones I did respect.
I respect the big man jersey. And what I want to know is there anybody in the chat that's ordered a 92? Because I think the Quinnen Williams jersey is one that you rock. You know, I think that's a rockable jersey right there. And I think the D-line jersey is tough, especially the interior guy. But I think Quinnen Williams is worthy of your purchase. Although you don't have to purchase gear from the Cowboys. You could just go to DLLS and spend your money on our company. You could go to Crown Global Media.
Crown Global, and we got beanies and stuff like that coming out. Yeah, we're good.
Stuff from there if you wanted to, but that's up to you. All right, we will talk about Cowboys and Chiefs here in a second. Vance is in the super chat, and he said, as a proud LSU alum, Bri, are you like me, a huge Gator fan? Absolutely sick and tired of this Lane drama.
Yeah. No, it's going to come to end. Lane Kiffin, the hire. Yeah, it's going to come to an end. They say after the Egg Bowl, which I believe is Friday. That's Mississippi State playing. Yep. So Saturday, Sunday, you should have your answer. Or, I would love to have Lane Kiffin. I would totally understood if he went to Florida. I would totally understand that. Florida's fine program. I would stand at Ole Miss. I can understand that too. Really good coach. I think he's the coach for modern college football. He understands NIL. I think Joey McGuire at Texas Tech's the same way, by the way. I think these modern coach knows personnel, knows how to handle kids, knows how to handle alum, knows how to handle NIL money, is cavalier, brash, whatever you want to say about him. I love him I hate him to compete against him. I would love him as my head coach. And I hope that we're in the middle of that at LSU.
All right. Cowboys and Chiefs, Bryan. Can the Dallas Cowboys?
By the way, their new AD at LSU is a teammate of mine from LSU back in the day, Verge Osbury.
Was he any good?
He won't. Yeah. Verge was a good player, linebacker. He won't tell me anything.
Yeah.
He won't say a word.
It's a
Verge. No, man, I'm happy he got the job as the new AD. But when you tell him good luck, hey, and you try and get some scoop, he ain't telling you, man. He ain't telling you scoop.
I'll try this one more time, Bryan. Bryan, can the Cowboys beat the Kansas City Chiefs this week?
Sure they can. Absolutely they can.
We live in a wonky NFL. A couple of weeks ago, I misused the word. I should have said great. But I was just telling everybody I work with, I was like, guys, there's not any good teams in the NFL. And they're like, there's not a good team? And I was like, no, there's not any good teams. And now I would say if you wanted to find a great team in the NFL, maybe the Rams qualify. Maybe.
Rams.
And that's it. Like all of these teams, like the Bo Nix led Broncos and the
really good on defense, though.
Yeah, but that's not somebody that anybody's terrified of. Like we're going to play Bo Nix in them or Indiana Jones in them, and the Chiefs are not what the Chiefs were when Tyreek Hill was still there. They were a juggernaut. Even a couple of years ago, that defense was incredible. Now, the Chiefs are an all right team with a real good quarterback. I agree with you. You can beat the Chiefs. There are a couple of things. There are just a couple of things about that team that do worry me, but that team is beatable. You know why that team's beatable? Because you got George Pickens. All right. Like McDuffie's a great corner.
He is a great corner.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck.
McDuffie will battle his ass off, though.
He'll fight you all day.
You might give him that. You might give him that. You might give him that. But that son of a bit, he'll climb you. He will climb you to go get that ball.
Okay. Are you ready for
I'll tell you what, though. I will say this. I think they're compromised on their offensive line again. I think you're going to have some offense with Trey Smith likely not playing in this game. They're going to have to go with Mike Caliendo. Believe it or not, that's his name, Mike Caliendo. Yeah, and Mike Caliendo, when you start to talk about pressure rates and as a guard and stuff like that, Cowboys' strength, the Kansas City Chiefs have only the team that's played the most. There's 7 games, 7 of their 11 games. Teams, 7 of those games, nobody's played 5-man line against them. The team that played the most 5-man line against them was Indianapolis last week in 11 plays. Other than that, it's been like Detroit was 1 play, Buffalo was 1 play, the Raiders were like 8 plays. The Cowboys at least saw what Indianapolis was able to do with some of their 5-man line stuff on defense. The problem is when you watch all of Kansas City's 10-plus runs, their 10-yard-plus runs, all of them are Mahomes. It's Mahomes scrambling. It's Mahomes, and they've got, trust me, they've got some, with some guys that, with Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, downhill runners, physical runners. But if you look at really where this all kind of comes to a head is Mahomes scrambling, running, Mahomes dropping back, running, I mean, he really wants to throw the ball short and let his guys run.
Yeah.
Is how you play. But there's we'll see what happens. I really liked Josh Simmons out of Ohio State last year. He was one of my favorite. He was my top offensive lineman. He's had some struggles. At the left tackle spot. And like I say, with Trey Smith being out, that kind of sets up some things inside. They like to leave these tackles one-on-one on the outside. So there's avenues to playing really good defense against these guys. Rice is a really good player. Xavier Worthy, they're both explosive kind of players. Old man Kelsey can make a play on you every once in a while. You got to be ready for that. But man, if you can find a way, like you watch the sacks and you watch it and you watch like Philadelphia getting after him, you watch Denver getting after him, you watch Mahomes will run himself into some sacks. All of a sudden he's scrambling, he turns around, looks, and then, he just ran into somebody. So yes, there is a way to beat this football team. Absolutely, there is.
They have two of the most unique things in the league this year, I think, on Kansas City. Number one is their running game. You mentioned it. Pat Mahomes is really their best runner.
He's their running game. He is their running game.
But they exist in a hilarious world where they don't make any big plays handing the ball to a running back. Like they just don't. And they make no negative plays handing it to a running back.
Well,
so they have the most generic, boring run game in the entire league. It's never explosive, but it never goes backwards. It's just what it is.
You're right. But you know what another thing is? 68% of the time they're throwing the football. They don't even try. I mean, there's teams ahead of them. There's like the Tennessees and the Cincinnatis and stuff. Yeah. When you go back and look, you're like, God dang, I'm watching like a million pass plays here. And then you look at the metrics, and it's 68% pass. I mean, they don't really want to run the football. I mean, they don't try to run the football, is what I'm saying.
And you would think, and this has never been true in the last few years, you would think when you have Pat Mahomes and you want to throw the ball a lot, that running would be easy, and it's just not for them. And so I think the Cowboys are hard. Where they will be able to stop the Chiefs from running the ball. Mm-hmm. The 5-man front, I do think makes it a little wonky, because what I wanted to see was when they play a 5-man front and the other team is playing with 3 wide receivers, what does that look like for the Cowboys? And the first one was the Savone Revel, A.J. Brown slant. Mm-hmm. And looks like they're in man coverage. So it's like, all right, well, in theory, you just, he beat you. Off coverage is hard. When A.J. Brown runs a slant and you give him a free release, that's goofy. But his underneath defender was Donovan Ezeraku. Yeah. Like, the next play was the easy completion for like a 6-yard curl to Devontae Smith in the middle of the field, because that time they opted for 5-man front and nickel corner. So it's one linebacker. So James Houston is your dropper. And I do think that it gets interesting when if you want to try to play that, when teams want to line up in throwing personnel, but you want to have your best players on the field.
You might play a little bit more 4-man. I mean, depending, like I say, if they're going to call pass plays 68% of the time, I'm getting in 4-man line and going after them. I'm not going to sit there and worry about the run. If that's I'm worried about Mahomes running. That's what I worry about the most.
Other wonky thing about the Chiefs is Rashee Rice is the wonkiest wide receiver in the entire league. So I saw this number 8 days ago, and then I'm going to give you the numbers that he put up this week, which might put him from number 3 to number 1. Rashee Rice, when it is against zone coverage, he is only Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka Nacua have higher target rates when they're running against zone defense. When they're going against man defense, Rashee Rice is 100 out of 114. Patty ain't looking at him when it's man, but he is a zone-busting son of a biscuit. Now, last week's numbers weren't included in that. Last week, he caught 7 of 8 targets for 122 yards in zone, 1 of 4 against man coverage. When you're in zone, keep your eyes on Rashee Rice. That's who he's going to. When they're in man, keep your eyes on the guys that run faster. That's who he's going to.
There you go.
And then And then go beat the Chiefs. Let's knock out these last couple super chats before you boys got to get to the golf course. Is there anybody coming out that we can compare to Randy White, the Manster? Carry your psycho. Have I watched a D tackle yet? I don't think I've watched a D tackle yet.
Yeah, there's a couple of them in this draft actually.
Clemson's got the guy.
Yeah, there's the Clemson's got the guy. Hang on here, I'll do this for you real quick. But yeah, the Clemson guy is actually, I think, is pretty damn good. So hang on a second.
Peter Woods, right?
Yeah, Peter Woods is what it is. So let me see if I can get it real quick. I think he might be the only one technique that I watch. Yeah, no, actually he's the 3. Yeah, he's the only one that I've seen so far. So yeah, Peter Woods would be that guy. He was a lot better. He was a lot better last year than he was the film this year is where he's at. By the way, going back on Howell, I have Bain, Bailey, Howell, Parker, Falk. Those are my 5 edges so far that I have watched.
Bryan, we're winning games. It's not time.
Oh, no, I just wanted to know the Aggie fan to know where I had Howell, Bain, Bailey, Tech, and then Howell. I just wanted to let him know.
Fair. Bryan, have yourself a day. Everybody go follow Crown Global Media. Thanks to our friends at Underdog for sponsoring the podcast. We appreciate you. Use the promo code TAPE. It's in the description of the video. And thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.